Right to Learn exhibition is currently on at the municipality's Pete's Space at the bottom of Leidra Street in Nicosia. I think I won't say any more. I'll let my next guest, who's the project leader of Right to Learn, and she is Maria Babagacio, and she can explain exactly what's going on down there. Maria, good evening.
Hello there.
So it's actually something that I believe opened already today, just less than 2 hours ago.
That's right.
And what is it that's on show down there, first of all?
Well, we've got a room full of collages and proposal sheets and movies that were made by 50, 60 or so participants of the 4 workshops that we ran across the island since last February. In which, in these workshops, students who were aged 14 to 18 were asked to think about different experiences of their learning and different ways in which they would have the system of education that they're experiencing change or improve. And that's what we're displaying here at the moment, as well as the short movies that they made, which were inspired by the discussions they had and by the interactions. And they had a presentation about global education, where they looked at case scenarios from education around the world as presented by one of our group. So that's all on display today and tomorrow.
Right, now then, these workshops were pretty experimental, I think. What came out of them in terms of your understanding of how the young people taking part view the current education system here in Cyprus, for example?
Well, this was amazing, in fact, because first and foremost, what we realized was that they had a great deal to say. We tapped into something where they had huge opinions and ideas about what was going on already. They spoke about the approaches of their teachers, the volumes of work they had to face, the role of extra lessons and the way their hours are cramped. All of these things were concerns that they had. And while they discussed them, we encouraged them also not to think of them only as things to complain about or to find as problematic, but to think about ways in which these things could be improved, thinking realistically and practically about why those things were in place as they were and what could be done and what would be feasible by the system to improve that. We also found that in terms of the creativity that's in them, and in terms of the artwork that they produced, the photos, the media, the movies they constructed, and from their feedback too, that they just needed more space for this in their learning experience, be it at school or in the extracurricular activities that they're taking part in. All of them, in fact, said that they found it very refreshing to have that amount of space to be listened to, and then to create something out of their opinions that was constructive and positive.
Which would suggest to me that are we going about things the wrong way in our educational institutions? Because it sounds as if we're not giving young people the space they need to be creative, and surely education is all about enhancing one's creativity.
Well, we as a group were established with that at the core of our sort of ethos. We do believe in creativity needing to have a much bigger space and more breathing space in the educational experience of young people. We don't want to be critical, though, for the sake of being critical. We do, a lot of the students and the discussions that we had did show that there were a lot of teachers that they appreciated. There were a lot of methodologies that were being used, such as technology and art that was in place, and student council systems that were sort of positive and they wanted more of. At the same time, we think it's just, if they have so much to say and that they're saying it in workshops that are going on outside of their school sort of experience, then certainly we would like there to be a space in their school experience to voice these views and to sort of constructively create with them. And that's why we're publishing a booklet out of all of the things that we're exhibiting this weekend and all the research and all the outcomes that emerge from the workshops. We're going to put together a publication that will then distribute to stakeholders, to schools, to the ministries, to media, so that these voices of these young people are heard, because they made a very, very specific and unique sort of proposal, each of them in teams thinking about the reality that they were dealing with. Poland that they would like to see changed.
So now that the exhibition is on, and I think it's on today and tomorrow as well, people get a chance.
That's right, yep. We're here tomorrow as well from 11 until 7:30.
So a lot of people, presumably walking up and down Leader Street, will pay you a visit. Is that then the end of the whole project?
That's the end of the first season that we're holding for milia, which was the Right to Learn season. But what we do as a group that's just setting ourselves up, we have 3 seasons every year, and each season has a particular theme that inspires the creative work that we do. And in June, and late May, June, we'll begin our next season, which is focused on the community of Nicosia within the walls, where we will establish an open workshop space for young people in this area of Nicosia within the walls. We're funded by Youth in Action, the European program, and while we have that space over the next 4 or 5 months, we'll facilitate the young people who are taking part to explore their notions of the city, of community, and to go out and interview and speak to and get personal narratives and stories of the very diverse community that exists here in the heart of the capital. And then they'll podcast them or document them in the creative ways that they choose. And all the time, we're the kind of group of organizers encouraging or facilitating or offering them skills-based workshops that then give them the kind of step into just fulfilling their own creative sort of interests and ideas.
Well, it all sounds very exciting. And who can apply to join these workshops?
Well, in fact, people don't need to apply as such. We're open to all young people, and we want to outreach to as many young people as possible, which is why we did go to the villages and to Limassol as well as to Nicosia for our first season. People can just get in touch with us through our website. We have a blog called milia, and they can Google that, and they can email us too, or pop into the exhibition where they'll get lots of information, our leaflets and contacts.
What's it called again?
The website is YEIAMILIA, YEIAMILIA.wordpress.com.
I'm trying to bring it up here on a thing. Yeah, we'll find it. We will find it.
Well, if they search milia, MILIA, which means apple tree in Greek, they will. It comes up on Google as something that they can find. And we're here over today and tomorrow. And available to talk to people and invite them to be part of our project. We're also going to be here as part of the NGO Support Festival that's taking place next Saturday on the 28th of May, again at Peace in the bottom of Lidras, where a whole range of organizations that are involved in NGO work are going to be sort of exhibiting their work, and we'll be here running activities to do with our second project on Nicosia within the walls.
Well, I hope lots of people do come and support you, and lots of young people take advantage of the opportunities being offered. So the best thing probably is to visit you tomorrow or before 9 o'clock tonight. You're there till 9 tonight?
We're there until 9 tonight.
Okay, I thank you very much indeed for sharing it with us, and I'll let you get back to all your visitors, Maria Papagathou. Thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you, Lizzie. All the best.
And you. Bye-bye. The Right to Learn exhibition, it is on right now down at the bottom of Leader Street at the municipality's Peace Space. That is a real mouthful to say.